Yeah, we're fine. I'm doing fine. Yeah, how are you? Man, this is a boring conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today, I want to try a new series called Crash Course. It's very similar to Faction Essentials, except we try to do it instead of like 30 to 40 minutes. We try to do it in like 10 to 15 minutes, something like that. Talking about how to use these teams in a pretty basic way, just the essentials, but trying to be a little more brief about things, making people figure out just a little bit more than I was doing in Faction Essentials by spelling things out. So we're going to talk about CLS Rebels today. It's been a team for a very long time. CG kept adding characters to it, and it's just kind of an institution now. You say CLS Rebels, or you just use CLS, and mostly we all know what 5 characters people mean. And we're going to talk about that team today and how it works and where it should be used, how it should be modded, etc. Before we do that, if you like this type of video, or if you just want to support the channel for free, all you've got to do is like, subscribe, comment on this comment area. You can comment on whatever you want, guys, or wherever you want, but in the comments area is where the algorithm resides. You're going to be able to mount yonder algorithm if that's what you want, guys. If that's what you're into, you should be into it. It's fun. Now, here's the overview on this team. In 5v5, it's a little different than 3v3, obviously, so CLS somehow doesn't die of annoyance because he has 2 versions of C3PO, but in 3v3. But anyways, you guys can read all of this stuff. I really just want this to be something you guys can refer to. It the team takes down a lot in 5v5. It can kill Galactic Legends in the right circumstance. It kills General Skywalker, which is a major issue sometimes. It kills a lot of teams that you can operate with a full turn meter and not give your opponent a ton of turn meter in the process. You do a lot of damage, you're a momentum team, and then if you stall out, then you die. If you put it on defense, Grievous can kill you if you don't have a modded right. So we gotta mod things right, guys? And before we do that, we want to Zeta things correctly. Just as a reference, this is my own list of things the order in which you should Zeta these characters. They're not the sole arbiter of truth. Maybe some people think that the order should be a little bit different, but the CLS IBAT, it binds all things. One of the best Zetas in the game still today. All of these things, guys, I can't take time to justify them, but this is the list as I would apply the Zetas. Honestly, I think all of them are good. If you really are pretty strapped for Zetas, which if you're early game you might be, you can probably for a while at least skip 8 and 9. You could maybe even skip number 7 if you wanted to, though I wouldn't go any lower than that. They're all pretty important beyond that, folks. Now, as far as these characters, whoa, hold on. There we go. As far as these characters go, here's kind of my template for them. So my Commander Luke is Relic 9 because of platoons in territory battles, but otherwise, here are the mods that he uses. He wants an offense set and a tenacity set, and the most important ability that he has, folks, is actually on Chupio, because Chupio, 3PO and Chupio, you know, that stupid combo team, they gain 40% of his health, his protection, his offense, defense, potency, and tenacity. And here's the thing, though. The General Grievous teams out there really want to stick debuffs on you, so the way you resist that is through a lot of tenacity. So the whole team, it gets a lot of tenacity so that they can't get anything to stick on you. And if they can't get anything to stick on you, you stop the General Grievous turn meter train, and it gets pretty messy for them. So Commander Luke, lots of tenacity though, because everyone's getting 20% of his tenacity. they're also getting a bunch of health and protection and potency. The potency doesn't matter nearly as much, but they're also getting damage. Normally he'd probably want more crit damage, but you want straight offense everywhere else except for the tenacity cross, because that offense can be spread. Like, you can't spread crit damage, so you just want straight offense. If he's just on his own, then do what you want. But, you know, the speed on him, you probably don't need him quite that fast. I like to, for fun, just to show off. No, I do think it's pretty strong to have him fast. That's probably egregiously fast, but because the whole team really relies on turn meter gains. Young Han Solo. Well, Han Solo of any sort here, folks. You kind of want him a little bit fast so that you can outspeed your opponent's Han. If you need to do the mirror match, you want your opponent to have a slower Han so that your Han can go first. You can stun Chewie, because remember, guard from Chewie is happening, and when that happens, then it makes it so that Han can't be stunned. And Han always goes first. The tiebreaker is speed, and so you stun Chewie so that there are fewer assists going on. And so that's essentially what it is. You want crit damage on him because he's always critting. He's got a crazy high crit chance. You can see how I just have some incidental crit chance, but from his kit, from all these different things, he's got like 200% crit chance or something. That might be an exaggeration, but this guy's Relic 8, just for your reference, so that you know what the damage levels look like and everything. And then you just want some potency because he's going to be trying to stun people. He's going to be trying to reduce turn meter with his basic, and it's very important that you have a little bit of potency. Remember, Luke is giving a little bit of potency to him as well. Chewbacca, Han's loyal pet, is the guy who you just want to live. You're just like, man, here's the thing, guys. A lot of people stack him up with offense, and I don't really blame you. You think that he does lots of damage, and he does. The thing is, the damage he does is all just kind of hidden, and unless you know his kit pretty well, you don't realize that his damage is percent health based. And so it does like 40% health every time he does damage to someone. But that's like secret damage. And every time he shoots, he does 2 instances of damage, assuming he hits. And so you want him to be assisting like crazy. He is guarding Han and probably CLS if you mod them correctly. You want those two to be guarded. And so like the weakest, health plus protection is the way you determine who the second weakest is besides Han. So CLS needs to be weaker than 3PO, which it's very possible to do that. But you want Chewie to be able to guard them, and then he can be stunned. Guard will stop them from being dazed or stunned. Chewie will still be able to be dazed and stunned. They also, guarded characters can't be crit, and Chewie can be crit. So that's basically what you want, guys, is you want him to live. So I put a crit avoid arrow on him. And then the triangle, probably something like protection, frankly. Whatever you can do to get as much tenacity as possible. Remember, if you have your Commander Luke at 100% tenacity, you're going to be handing out 20 tenacity to everyone. So this Chewie is 185 starting tenacity, or probably a little more, because my CLS is pretty awesome. Now, 3PO, or 3-pack, Chewpio, he wants a little more offense. He wants tenacity as well because he is assisting every single time. Chewie is only assisting when Luke and Han take turns. Chewpio is going every time a rebel takes a turn. So you want him to be able to be hitting a lot. I put a crit damage triangle on mine, though I think a lot of people do put offense on because he doesn't have high crit chance. And so you remember, he's grabbing all that tenacity as well. So mine only has 118 tenacity. However, the tenacity from CLS, he gets double what everyone else gets. So he's going to get like 40 to 50 tenacity as well. So he's got a lot of tenacity too. Lots of offense, lots of tenacity if you can. Finally, we have the Lord and Savior 3PO. Instead, we think he's great until he opens his mouth. Better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. One of the best quotes ever, and something that could really, really, really be useful to 3PO should he choose to embrace that life philosophy. Now, he's a really weird guy. You don't really need that much speed on him. He gives himself 20 speed just from his kit, though that's not affected by mods. And he's just very passive. You don't care if he goes, really, because he is constantly giving everyone exposed. That's part of the damage that you do. A lot of the damage that this team does is actually from percent health damage from both exposes, which do 20% of your opponent's max health, or from Chewbacca's max health damage when he does it from his bonus. So this team, you really want him to have some potency to be able to apply his confusion, which is a really strong debuff. You can look it up. And you want to be able to apply those exposes. You also want him to have some tenacity so that he doesn't get dazed or anything, so that he can still do his thing, though it's a lot of the stuff he does is passive. You can read his kit, and I'll talk to you next week because it's going to be there for a week. But remember, whenever you do a basic, you inflict expose. So when Han shoots twice, you shoot once, inflict an expose, then Chewie hits that expose and inflicts an expose again, and then Han shoots a second shot and on that expose. So you're doing 2 expose hits every single time Han does one basic. That's pretty fancy. So let's get into 2 examples of how to use the team, and I will get you out of here, folks. Shall we? Let's go. So probably the most common version of this team is Commander Luke versus General Skywalker. Now, I want to show you an example of control for this team. So, Rex is a huge problem on this team because he's super fast. He has turn meter like crazy. Well, not necessarily turn meter, but he's gaining a lot of speed from his friends, and you need him to stop giving his entire team a bunch of turn meter as well. You need to get rid of General Skywalker, then you need to get rid of Fives, then Rex. But the first move you can do, because Han can target who he wants and it auto-stuns someone, so you want to shoot Rex first. Even though you can't kill him while Skywalker's alive, you shoot Rex first so that Rex is stunned and he can't get rid of debuffs or anything. Now, I probably have a pretty good datacron here that makes this example a little less valuable, just because you guys can see me doing things that maybe aren't going to be applicable to every single situation. But shooting Rex first is going to be a really strong move here, folks. And then after that, you kill Fives. And then if you need to, you use CLS to swap stances so that he can get rid of Rex's turn meter. This isn't the case in this particular fight, but if you need to, that is an option, because Luke can swap stances, target who he wants, like ignore taunts when he does, and then you're good to excuse me, good to go. So take out Rex, take out the rest of them, and you really want to avoid Rex feeding a ton of turn meter to the team. That's the thing you truly want to avoid. And then of course you can't crit General Skywalker, but you can stun him, which is another element of control here. And that's all she wrote, folks. So, pretty clean fight. Dropped a couple banners, of course, but pretty good stuff. Let's go to one that's maybe a little more outlandish. This is one you're almost never going to see, but I did want to kind of show you an example, because this is the way we control things. Because it's Basti lead, the whole team has a crazy amount of tenacity, which means every time they resist some kind of debuff or effect, which is like Han reducing turn meter, then my team gains, everyone on my team gains a bunch of turn meter. And there's a lot of other elements of gaining turn meter. I want to show you that in effect, though, because we take way more turns than they do. Also note that Han shoots first. He gets a bonus turn at the start of the fight. So does Watt, but because Han is fancy, he always shoots first. And he gets to shoot Watt if he wants. We don't want that buff to go onto Jedi Master Luke here. So we're gonna stun Watt as quick as we can. Of course, there's some taunting going on because it's Basti lead. And So we really need to get rid of Watt as soon as we can. We have some AoEs that we can do. We do have an expose on Watt, and he's pretty close to dead. But keep in mind, like, Jedi Master Luke, it has a lot of speed, and we're able to reduce his turn meter quite a bit there. Like, he still hasn't gone, even though he's faster than all of our characters, because of all the turn meter we've gained. So, I mean, I would encourage you, if you wanted to watch this match, like, I mean, watch it for whatever you want to do right now, but also watch it at some point with just watch the turn meter that we're gaining throughout the fight. Like, they get a few turns, but it is just a crazy shooting gallery. Like, so far, Jedi Master Luke hasn't taken a turn yet, and he's got blind. I'm kind of just waiting, because he's gonna try to do his F-Lux move first, and that'll just miss, because it's one of those things that can miss. However, we could do a basic with Han and reduce his turn meter if we wanted to. I just decided to let him get that out of his system. Alright, we've killed Jolie, so we can't revive any Jedi now. And I mean, we're just gaining so much turn meter, we can just keep going. Of course, we probably have a Datacron that helps us a little bit with gaining a lot of turn meter as well. But, you know, remember, this only really works really well. Like, this isn't a team that counters a Jedi Master Luke lead, because Jedi Master Luke doesn't give the obscene amount of tenacity that Basti does, and we need them to be resisting things. That's a big element of what we're trying to do here. So, you know, now we can just kind of barrage Luke, try to keep him from being able to do anything. And, yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit to chip away at this team, but we can do it. Come on, guys, hurry up. You're making me a liar. This video's longer than 15 minutes, damn it all. But hopefully less than 20. It should be fun. We're almost done here, guys. So, anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like this video format? Do you like this type of series? Would you prefer me to start doing this instead of Faction Essentials? Would love to know what your thoughts are. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. Unlike Jedi Master Luke, man.